Hello, good morning. Is my audio okay?
Yeah.
Am I coming through all right?
Can you hear
Great,
me?
great, cool. I can, I
Okay.
can. I
So what
love,
I'm
I love that board you have at the back.
Yeah, this is it's like a balance board.
I
Because
see,
I'm not a real surfer. I'm not interested in the risk of real surfing. So I just like to do that.
for sure. Like
Which
being out in the ocean is like, why would, why are we doing this,
I know, right?
guys?
Okay,
Yeah.
so hi guys, welcome back to the Turf Shack. As you can see, I have a fun and exciting guest. This is my friend Justin who lives in the future. He lives in Singapore, so, so it's already
Hi
tomorrow.
everyone.
Yeah. So I'm recording the audio separately, Justin, just in case. But I think I have finagled my situation to where I can just like upload it on YouTube. So I'll send you the link when I do that.
Cool.
Okay. So let's get started. First off, do you have any fun and exciting news? Anything new in your life?
Well, I actually do. I'm, I'm 2 days into being an engaged person. So
Yay!
I
I didn't want to just like put it out there,
I
but I was
recently
like,
proposed.
I'm pretty sure. Like,
Yeah, I recently proposed. I did this on Saturday, and my girlfriend and I we've been together for a little more than a year, and prior to that we've known each other for about 10 years from university days, and yeah, I think exploring the possibility of a relationship with someone that I've known as a close friend for so many years was a really exciting one. And it came with its own set of challenges, but yeah, all that. I mean, in a nutshell, I'm yeah, that's the most exciting
yes, I'm
thing that
so
has happened.
excited
And
for you.
wow, I've sorry.
Oh, I was just saying I'm so excited for you because when you were telling me about y'all's story, it was cracking me up, and so I was like hoping that you will share that, but also your origin story. So, so oh yeah, just for context for the podcast for a second here. So Justin and I met, wow, I guess like 3 years ago at Isla Vista Worship School, which I've shared before about that. So I was like realizing though, besides you just seeing it on Instagram, I don't really remember, or I don't know if we ever talked about like how you ended up in Isla Vista. Because that's like a big deal to come all the way from Singapore. And then the following summer, you went back to California, right? And you like rented a whole car and did like this whole thing. So I was like, however
Yeah.
much of that you wanted to share, but then I also did want to hear you retell your love story and then also your engagement story. So, and then obviously all of the art, because like me, Justin has been focusing more intentionally on art for like the past year. So really, the floor is yours. However much you want to share. So go for it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
It's really really great as an opportunity to reflect. I think as I was thinking about coming on and what I wanted to share, and I guess being able to share that this journey through going to the States, meeting you guys, and then discovering my heart, discovering God's love for me. It's really something that I feel really strongly about, and has kind of influenced the way that I approached my music, my writing, and so yeah, it's a great honor to be here, and I think the story of how I was in Isla Vista and how I eventually came to coming together with my now fiance and being engaged is very much tied together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so I'll try to do my best, do it justice. But yeah, I think the first thing that I noticed was that the Lord really was weaving together a story through all the different things that I was fresh out of a breakup. It was a relationship that I was in for about 2.5 years, give or take. And I think at that time I was really, really lost and
Mm.
aimless because for me, I had kind of built my whole like life at that point around the relationship and the prospect of a future together. And I mean, I cared a lot about the person I was with, and I wanted the relationship to succeed. And so I was like knee deep in work. I was really like trying my best to get all the different aspects of my life together, and really, really striving. I think, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And that kind of was the the hair that broke the camel's back, I think, for our relationship as well, because I think, my partner at the point was confiding that, like, it felt like I was being torn in like all different directions, and it was almost as though like nothing was really a priority, because like everything was a priority.
Yeah.
So I think coming out of that space, was really, really tough, and losing, I guess, like the purpose that I was driving so hard for, when that ended. I was in a liminal space, and so when I saw the opportunity to go to Isla Vista, I was like, hey, you know what? I got nothing to lose, and so I went.
Yeah.
I went, and it was funny, because like I was trying so hard at my usual self to like save the money and stuff like that. So I went on like Skyscanner, and I booked a bunch of like transfer flights, and it ended up being like way more expensive than if
Oh
I had
no.
just flown straight.
That's the worst.
It's the worst. It's the worst. And I thought that was a funny like metaphor of how I think in life, when we try to like both hands on the wheel, we try
Yeah.
to really, really drive it. It kind of backfires, and I think that's a grace.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a grace, because the Lord's trying to teach us something in life, and a lot of times life is not, I guess, like what we try and structure,
Yeah.
and that being kind of the win, but really that dependence and that relationship with Him. And yeah, I guess for me, I mean, I'm not sure if everyone's super comfortable with like the Christian language, all that stuff. But yeah, I think for me that was really what I drew out of that time.
Yeah.
Okay, and so going into to Isla Vista, I had heard the music that Isla Vista had put out. I was into the indie Christian music space, and so but what I didn't know was that when people came for the worship school, that we would be writing music.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and I had no idea. I was just
You
I
didn't
saw
read
it.
the
I was like,
description.
hey, I love these guys. They're doing worship school. I'm just gonna go. I
Yeah.
had no clue, and so I have been writing music for a long time. I think the first song I wrote, I was like 12 years old,
Oh
and so
wow.
I've always loved it, because, yeah, I'm someone. I'm a dude with a lot of feelings, and so then the feelings need to go somewhere, and
Yeah.
so then the best way to get them out and like out of my system is to put them into song and into
Yeah.
words, and so that's what I've always been doing. Yeah, and so I remember the first worship session we had at Isla Vista, and we were singing "How He Loves," and I had just got this harrowing experience of like 3 layovers and like running for the plane. And I was out across the world in this living room, and I just felt the Lord's like love just rest upon me, and Him saying like, "Hey, I love you so much, and I brought you all this way. Like,
Amen.
wouldn't you trust me?"
Yeah. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah. I think that was how I got to Isla Vista, and it was just such a beautiful lesson for me. Yeah, that
Oh no. But
right.
you were telling us about how you got to Isla Vista and you were doing the most, booked a whole bunch of flights, and then the Lord was kind of like using that to teach you that He was bringing you into a place of rest, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a really great way to summarize that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We're good to continue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I think the whole journey there was as you really rightly summarized, like learning to come into a place of rest, And it was further compounded by the fact that at the Island Star Worship School, at the baptism night,
Oh yeah,
I lost my wallet.
Oh yeah, it was finished. Yeah.
That was insane for me because firstly, I don't think I've ever lost my wallet. Yeah. And so like it was the first time ever, and it was here, 1,000 miles away from home, and I was really in a fluster, and I remember the morning after I had lost my wallet because I had lost it at the beach.
Yeah.
We were at rocks, and I had lost it at the beach. I actually woke up like super early in the morning at first light, and I went down and I was just digging in the sand, like looking
desperately.
Frantically, like it was the only thing I could do, right?
Yeah.
Because the most likely situation was that it had been swept out into the ocean, but I couldn't live with myself if I didn't try to like look in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there for something like 4 hours or something, and yeah, it was just me just frantically digging, and I was just praying the whole time. I was like, God, you know where my wallet is.
Yeah, you can see it right now.
You literally, you don't need like a Find My situation and an air tag. You know exactly where it is, but you're not telling me. And so like, if you just told me it's not here, we could just be done here.
Yeah.
And so I was like, why won't you tell me? And he didn't answer my question directly, but I felt a strong sense of the Father's voice saying, I'm here with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think and when I heard that in my spirit, I just had this like flashback of when I was a kid, and my parents would bring me to the beach, and I'll be doing the same thing. I'll be trying to like dig, look for something in the sand, or like try to build a sandcastle, and I could feel the presence of my parents like being around me, and I think in that moment, like that was a beautiful picture for me because it reminded me that hey, like God's a good father.
Yeah.
Just like how when I was a kid, my parents were around me when we were at the beach. Like this was a similar moment, and the emotion was the same. It was this feeling of I can go about this thing with a strong sense of like safety because I know that I'm being loved.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty crazy.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was all the way halfway through Isla Vista, and two of my time in IB, I had made a bunch of friends, yourself being one of them, and it was so amazing because I think we got the chance to share our lives and talk about different things, and what that season was for me was cementing of the fact that God was most interested in the things that were in me, like the internal things, my heart, the posture that I had when it came to life, and love and work and everything, and less about like the outcome.
Yes, that's so good.
Yeah, that was such a big one for me. Like learning to die to what I wanted, what I was hoping for from everything that was happening, not just in life, but also in various small moments during the worship school. I think something that you and I talked a little bit about also, like learning to like move and flow. Those were things that I was like learning and trying to figure out. And so fast forward a year later, I went back to Isla Vista and California actually to just visit all my friends. And it was an amazing time, and that's a whole story in and of itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that really prepared me and gave me the right headspace. I would say it matured me to be ready for when Hazel, my fiance, came back from the mission field, and I asked her out, and we went out to see if this relationship thing would work for us. Yeah, it matured me in that I recognized that actually so much of life is not within our control.
Yeah. I was so impressed that you like rented a car in a foreign country. I know people do it all the time, but I was just like, way to go, Justin. you.
Yeah, it was pretty wild, and I had so much help. So I think that's something that can't be like removed from the equation. So Josh Mahoney,
who
we both know, he was really the one that gave me the confidence and really the skill set.
I love that. Yeah. Shout out to Josh.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's this beautiful picture of Josh Mahoney like back flat on the ground and like trying to explain to me as he pops out from under his car how to change a tire.
Wow.
Yeah, and so he was really the one that was helping me like get ready, get started, and like getting car and moving. And of course, the road ahead that I had to drive was my own.
Right.
But just having someone like start me off, and give me the handles and the confidence.
I love that.
Such a blessing.
Yeah, Josh is so great. And he got married too a couple years ago, maybe last year or the year before. Yeah, it's so fun.
It was wonderful to meet Asia, his wife.
Oh, you got to meet her. Okay.
Yeah, I got to meet them. I think it was probably about 6 months or so before he got married. And he was showing me the ring and he was telling me about the design process and of course I don't think Asia knew at that point that he was going to propose. And so like it was very much still a secret. He was still designing it pretty much. And yeah, it was amazing to see the man in love, because he's got this new drive, and he's got this excitement, and it's become such a priority for him. And now that I think about it, like I can relate to what he went through.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like you said, like the Lord used him in the practical thing about like changing a tire on an American car, but then also like you watched him go through his process, not even knowing that yours was like coming up. So that's like very cool.
That is very good. I'm gonna need that link until right now.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us, because you were cracking me up when you were sharing about Hazel and how like she was raising money, and then you were like, "Here, I'm never gonna see you again," because you just assumed that she was gonna like die on the mission field or something, which is not funny. I know that happens, but it was kind of funny.
I think when Hazel and I first got to know each other, we were very different people. This was 2017.
Okay.
And so we've been friends since then. And the Lord brought her on this journey throughout the course of our friendship, and deepened her walk with Him to the point where she was willing to go wherever that He sent her.
Right.
And so she decided to join a pastor from her church to pioneer a work in Timor-Leste. And Timor-Leste is a young country.
Right.
I think they got independent in 2005.
Wow.
Around the early 2000s. Yeah, and so they're a country that has been rife with civil war and unrest. And the UN Peace Corps were there for many years just to try and settle things on the ground. And so by the time that Hazel and her team went down, there was already a burgeoning work that Singapore was involved in, the Singapore Church was involved in, and they were there to figure out how they could bring that work into the villages in the mountains.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot more sense now that you explain about like the government being. That makes more sense why you thought like this is the end. This is pretty intense.
So when she was going to go, I knew nothing about Timor-Leste except that it was like war torn.
Gotcha.
And
okay.
I was like, gosh, I'm so sad that this close friend of mine is going to her probable death.
Yeah.
So I was working and I had gotten a very generous bonus, and so then I decided to give a portion of that to her to bless her. And it was one of the biggest, it was the biggest amount of money I had ever given to a work.
That's exciting.
Yeah. It wasn't that big of an amount, but for like someone who's still working, it was pretty big. And so then, and she was like, "Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that." And then she said, "I'm not going to spend any of that money. I'm going to let you know how we'll use that money for the work. And I was like, no, like that's not the point. Because like you don't have a salary anymore, and
buy yourself something nice.
But that turned out to be the biggest blessing because she would keep me updated.
Yeah.
About like the ways that she was spending that money all throughout her time.
Yeah.
And so then that gave me moments to chat, and like, catch up with her, be like, hey, how are things going? How can I pray for you? How's the work? And that was unbeknownst to us, like the foundation of our relationship.
Yeah. It's so cool when God does stuff and like he finally has your attention where he wants it, so then he's able to work how he wants to work without us like fixating and like trying to make it go a certain way and all this. And then you were telling me, did you guys end up singing at somebody else's wedding together, or am I remembering that right? Okay.
Yeah, wow, I love that. That's such a beautiful encapsulation of how God works.
Yeah.
And that what the situation that you brought up is further to the point. Okay. Because when she came back in October, so she would be fully permanently back in Singapore the year after. That would be 2025.
Okay.
But in 2024, she came back for a friend's wedding, and how that happened and how I got involved was that I had sung at another friend's wedding, and her friend who was getting married heard me sing, and she texted Hazel and was like, hey, you are leading worship at my wedding. I heard this guy sing at this other wedding, and I was wondering if you knew him and you could bring him along and like have him sing at my wedding.
Nice.
And she was like, yeah, this is the guy that has been that I've been checking in with, talking to, and I mean he's a good friend, and so she got in touch with me and was like, hey, listen, my friend wants you to sing at her wedding. Are you keen? And I was like, yeah, sure. And that created so many more opportunities for us to like get to know one another, work together.
Yeah.
And it was at that wedding that I asked her out for the first time.
Aww, that is so special. I love that.
Makes me feel all warm and fun.
Yeah. Nice. I'm so excited. Congratulations to you both, and I'm excited to meet her eventually. I was like scheming, like I need to get over to Singapore and hang out. But I was also wanting to hear more about, if you're comfortable sharing, of course, how last year you kind of stepped away from you had like a government contract to focus on art, and like how, because now it's been almost a year, right, since we kind of chatted about this last, so.
Right. Yeah, sure. Let's get into that. And I think that whole journey has been a big faith journey, and Hazel has been someone that is intricately tied with that. I think for me, our conversations, she and I, made me realize that there were areas that I wanted to push out in faith,
mm-hmm.
but there were so many real considerations to be had. That kind of clouded out and complicated the decision. So I was working in a video production house as a business lead for about 4 years at that point, and I was considering really getting focused with the music and the art. But the problem was that if I did that, I firstly would not be drawing a salary, and secondly, it was not necessarily a career decision that would be favorably looked upon by every employer,
right?
Because I think for me, I was very much concerned about how my resume would stack up,
mm-hmm.
And how people would perceive that and stuff like that. But through our conversations, Hazel and I, she kind of pointed out that like this is something that you really feel for and that you've always been doing, and so she said like maybe you should just think about it a little bit more.
I love that. So beautiful that she like believed in you.
I was talking to the Lord, and I just felt a question in my spirit that what took more faith staying in my current job or like leaving, not taking a salary and trusting God, doing the thing that I wanted to do, and also really wanted to use to serve the Lord.
Right.
And then suddenly the answer just became clear. That actually if this life is a journey of faith, then stepping away for a season and maybe forever would be the play. And so that's what I did. And so the past year has been a real challenge because from the time that I decided to leave, I was serving my notice, and in that time, the Lord did a work in my heart. He was basically asking me, like, if you gain nothing out of this entire season of making music, nothing, like no views, no listens,
people unfollow you.
It's like a whole year that went like underwater and just like never surfaced. Would you be with that? And are you content with just gaining my presence?
That's so good.
I remember that in my spirit, like on a commute, right? And I started to cry because the true answer was that it was not enough. I wanted the recognition, I wanted the success and all these things, and there was a strangeness in that because there was no real condemnation. It was more like a revelation. Right? It's like hey, I do want these things, they do matter to me, but at the same time it was like, God, these things matter to me, yet I would still want to get to a place to be like, your presence is enough. And so I'm still in that season now. Where the music's still being pushed out. No one's really heard of it yet, except for a few close friends, yourself included. And wrestling with this idea that if I gain nothing but God's presence, is that enough for me? And I'm in the thick of that. I'm in the thick of it.
It's good though, like you said, for one thing, when you were sharing about like stepping away for a season, because like what you said, like that has implications, and that by itself takes faith, because it's like you're disrupting what the world thinks of as like a trajectory that will set you up for the future. But God knows and holds the future. And so it's like he could use your obedience in this season to bring you back to a place where you're working in a similar way that you were before, and you have, a salary and all that. Like that could happen. But then at the same time, to your second point, if it didn't, and if you're just out here making music and you feel like nobody listens, like, I just love that the Lord brings us into honesty with him. And I feel like in my personal experience, those have been the moments that like take me to the next level in my relationship with the Lord. When he asks me a hard question and I tell him the true answer, like, actually, you know what I mean? And so it's so cool because it's like you have secondary desire is what I call it. It's like you want to want the right thing. And like he already knows that. So just being honest with him is like the best thing to do,
That's so good. Secondary desires and like wanting to want. And that's something that I really feel is like encapsulating my season. Getting to a place where my heart is right, and not in like a moralistic sense, and not in like here's the right answer, like you just have to believe that, or like a pet answer, but really one that is born out of like a true experience of this journey of life, and being like, hey, actually this thing that I want is so much better than what I currently
Yes.
and I'm in the in-between space. Honesty with the Lord, that's really good.
And it's funny because I remember you put out like a song that was kind of like ridiculous, right? And I was like, what is this? And then I was like, but I love that for him, because this is like what you said you wanted to do. It was just like take risk and just put out there what you have in your mind or whatever. And I just was like, that's so funny. Is it based on a true story?
So the song's called Fart in the Room, and it was never meant to be heard. And I mean, I'm really holding back from like peppering too many fart puns. It was never meant to be heard. It was always meant to be kept inside. Just for someone else to know about.
Oh
yeah,
boy.
I felt like that was an apt first song to put out precisely because it was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so out of left field. I mean, close friends who came up to me, family members, was like, hey, this is like not really the brand that you're hoping into, like, could you change the title? Could you make it something else?
That's so funny.
And yeah, but as you said, like it was, I think the process of creating, we can overcomplicate it and mystify it. Yeah, I think creating is not so much about doing something that would be celebrated, but coming to a place where we bring art to this life and its experiences.
Yeah.
Capturing the moment and the feelings and displaying them to the world in a way that feels most true, most refined, most depicting of what like life is really like.
Yeah.
And with fun in the room, what that was all about was coming to a realization that love is not as unwanted and as scary as it felt.
Yeah.
And in the story of the song, there's a girl who's interested in a guy, and so it's written from the guy's perspective, and of course it was from my own perspective of someone expressing like romantic interest, or even just interest. Yeah, and the immediate discomfort that came when I was younger with that, it was like, whoa, why would you? and there's so much self-loathing in that feeling.
Yeah.
And also, a sense of like uncertainty and fear of risk. And so as the song progresses, then my hope is that the listener goes through a journey also of coming to a little bit more comfort with the idea of romantic interest and interest in general, even when they have not considered it. Yeah, so that's the whole song.
Yeah, I love that. It's so funny. Well done, Justin. I was also interested in like, what is the landscape like in Singapore, both with like Christian culture, but then also just the style of music that you're interested in, and do you tend to express in the same style that you like to listen to? Does that make sense?
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a really good question. Yeah. I'll take that one first.
Yeah.
And try to extrapolate that into Singapore. I think for me, I grew up listening to Christian music.
Okay.
Yeah, and very much American Christian and Australian.
Okay.
So like those camps, the Hillsong
Yeah.
music, as well as on the American side, it was very much the Don Moen.
Yeah, like integrity.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in Asia, we grew up on a staple of these two
Okay.
different camps of Christian music. And so the Korean church is very famous for singing like old like Hillsong and like Don Moen hymns.
Okay.
And it's the same for Singapore, I think. Yeah, and so I was really very influenced by that. And it was a natural gateway, Christian music was a natural gateway into gospel and soul.
Okay.
And so and so I think for me, that was how the trajectory tracked. I think now, some of our friends would describe my style as a pretty sing-song, musical theater kind of vibe. You've got all the major thirds and minor fifths and that, and I think it's a homage to gospel and soul music that I eventually flowed into. The other funny track that I kind of expanded into was country music.
Yeah.
Because Don Moen. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it just felt natural because I associated that with the music.
He does kind of have like a country like gravel to his voice. I never thought about that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like God is good all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And the country fills on the piano. Yeah. So I listen to a broad range of music. yeah, so like indie Christian now with you guys, John Mark, and then soul with Mark Barlow, and I also listen to the rap, mainly American rap, and then a bunch of other things from when I was in Turkey. Some exposure to Europe, right? And then when I express, it comes out very much in musical, sing-song, plus a bit of gospel and soul, and some country. And so that's how it shows. Yeah, and in Singapore, we are very heavily influenced by two main musical genres, or really countries, which is America and Taiwan, Hong Kong.
Oh, okay.
Chinese community, yeah, that's our main two influences. I would say for the old school, like the old guard, they would listen to music from the UK, British,
okay,
yeah, and stuff like that. But
like maybe from the 60s, or
sorry,
I said like from what era? Like the 60s? When you say old guys,
I think they the older folks are very much influenced by the more structured London music.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure how it is, but like formal British music.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of things. Yeah, and so in Singapore, the landscape is that we listen to a lot of what other people put out, but when it comes to our own music, there was a creator online that was talking about this. We are very communal in our music. At least that's what it was for many years. In Singapore, every year we have a National Day parade.
Oh.
And as part of that National Day parade, people write songs.
Oh.
For the parade. And so every year in Singapore, there is a new National Day song.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. And so everybody learns the lyrics to those songs. We sing it together.
So it's like true folk music.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. But people get into crazy conversations, big fights about the National Day songs, because whenever someone tries to change the style or introduce something new, there'll be a whole bunch of people who'll be like, that's not a National Day song, we like the old stuff.
Yeah.
And so people are torn. But eventually, everybody gets to know what that song is, whether they like it or not. All the words to the songs most of the time.
Yeah.
And so Singapore is a very communal society in that way. We have a common corridor of the music that we listen to in the form of these songs, as well as songs that the culture loves. There was some from the Chinese side. They're called Xin Yao, and they're basically Chinese ballads and love songs.
Okay.
And so those songs people know by heart, and there are songs that we sing multiculturally. So there are Tamil songs that we learn, and those are key in I guess the social fabric and the government's initiative to create a multicultural society. And so songs play a role in Singapore. They have this galvanizing role. But now as we go into this internet era and people are exposed more and more to various streaming channels and stuff like that, you do get a multiplicity of music that people listen to.
Yeah.
But as Singaporeans, we have this common corridor that we all share. And I also wonder, for the States, do you guys have a similar analog? Oh my, I'm so sorry.
I know, no worries. You're all the way on the other side of the world, and that's what you were talking about, was how the internet has opened up more music to you guys. But I was curious, when you say that it's initiatives, is it you guys are learning the folk songs in school, or is it that plus just kind of family and play, or?
Right. Yeah. So they teach us the songs from different languages and the old National Day songs in school.
Okay.
So that's one. And the National Day songs get sung at the National Day every year. They do vary it, and the playlist or the set list changes year on year. But by and large, if you're in Singapore, you would pretty much hear these songs. They're kind of like Christmas songs. You know?
I was gonna say, is that part of why you do musicals? You think? Like you were saying that
it could really be.
Okay.
It could really be. Yeah, and you would find also that especially for people born in the 90s, the music that we write for church, the music that we write for for commercial stuff, they have this like musical kind of vibe, and I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think it's to do with the stylistic influences of the National Day song and all of these things that have become common language for us. And so people gravitate towards it. The Christian music in Singapore, we joke about it in Singapore. They have this Singapore church sound.
Okay.
And usually what that means is that you hear the minor two in somewhere, and there's a specific melodic like lift and dip. There's and also the way that we speak as well, because as Singaporeans we emphasize a lot more of the words.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really have so much of the tonal shifts in the English. And so it comes through in the way that we write and sing. It's very much more of a
Interesting. Yeah, you were asking about the United States. I had another thought, but maybe it'll come back to me. And I don't want to keep you. I know you have a whole day ahead of you, but this is such a good conversation. But you were asking about the United States. I feel like it's so big that it really kind of depends. And then with the Christian culture in the United States, there's so many denominations. So I feel like it kind of depends on the region of the country, and then whether or not you grow up in like a more charismatic denomination versus like a more traditional. Because like I kind of experienced both growing up, but when I was in like my 20s and when I was like first choosing like which church I wanted to go to by myself, it was a mix of like hymns and like we sing hymns because everything has to be this kind of theology. But then there was also that influence of like, Hillsong taking over everything and like everybody's got to have. But it's interesting because like you're actually a lot more technically a musician than I am. So it's like you're using all these phrases and I don't really know what they mean, but I kind of know what they mean. But yeah. No, seriously. I'm like minor two. Like I don't know. But yeah. But it's interesting though, because my little brother is interested in Asian culture, mostly Japan specifically. But he was talking to me about the heavy influence of like gospel music in Asia in general. So it's like really interesting that you kind of drifted in that direction too, to a degree.
Yeah. It's very, very interesting, and I mean I don't fully know what gospel music means for Americans, but for us here, it's very much tied to church and our understanding of church. I think it's heavily influenced by the American missionaries that came by.
Oh, okay.
And so I think that was probably what brought that music and that culture. And probably also popular media.
Yeah. Man.
But yeah, there's a big love for it in Asia.
Yeah.
It could also be global trends, because I know like gospel was back for a bit, and probably is still back, and country's kind of making like a return.
Well, country's awesome now, so I vote yeah. I mean, it's not that I don't like gospel music. It's just that I don't know. I'm from the South, and I'm from like the rural South. So, like, the country music gets to me because I'm like, yes, open spaces. Like, I'm not a city girl. But, so what are you, like, working on now? And then also, if you wanted to shout out any of your stuff and, like, where you want people to find you on the internet.
Right. Yeah. So, you can find me on Spotify. I make music in both directions. And what I mean by that is I've got the love song stuff at Jiakpeng. Jiakpeng means to have rice, eat rice in Hokkien. And that's JIAKTNG. I'll be dropping my most latest music there, and under that artist profile, the songs explore love, loss, the gamut of human relationships and emotions. And I have another artist profile. It's ZhongHeng Teo. ZhongHeng is ZhongHeng, but we could probably link it or something.
Yeah, I'll put it in the description.
Yeah, and that one, under that artist profile, I write worship music, predominantly music for the church.
Yeah, so
I think as of now, those are the two main ways to listen to the stuff that I put out.
Yeah.
You can also follow me on Instagram, Chakpong Justin, and yeah, that's my Instagram handle. Yeah.
So when are you coming out with the new project on the shorter one? Sorry, I can't pronounce it.
Yeah,
the J.
Yeah.
Can you do it again?
Jakpong. Yeah.
Close. Okay. Yeah. So when are you releasing that project?
It's slated for Q3. The exact date is still pretty much in the air because there are a few hiccups along the mixing journey that I'm just kind of like working into. But
yeah.
I really hope to have it out by Q3, and the worship music should be out by the end of the year.
Yeah. I will say, you've made a lot of progress because I can hear the difference in your mixing and your production. And as someone who's tried it myself, and it is absolutely not fun for me at all, I just have so much more respect for people who whether you like it or not, to just stick it out and actually get to a better level. You know what I'm saying? You've really done a good job with that. So I'm excited to hear the rest of it. I mean, the ones that are coming out in Q3 and then later this year. And I had another question. Dang it. I hate when I lose my train of thought. Justin.
Well, I mean, while you're thinking of
that,
go
for it.
I think it's really credit where it's due. I am extremely inspired by you and the music that you put out, because I feel like you really have this forward center of gravity when it comes to creating and sharing your art, and it's really inspired me to not overcomplicate the process. I think it's good to refine, but I think for creatives sometimes we over refine, and so shout out to you.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think I'm really inspired by that, and I hope that I can continue to put out stuff and get a bit closer to the rate that you've been putting out music.
Oh, I appreciate it. I think that does actually remind me, though, that what I was thinking was our similarity in putting out both kinds of music. And I love that you have two different profiles for that. But I also love God's strategy in putting both things in the same vessel when the vessel is yielded to him. Because I feel the world is so sick of itself. You know what I mean? But it's but they don't want to hear cheap, because it's no, people are going through real stuff and they want to hear somebody sing about it, but then they also want real hope, and they don't want not to get all crazy, but just some of the wild stuff that goes on behind the scenes in the music industry that is just in our face now. It's people don't want that, but they want to feel some real music. So I'm very excited about what the Lord is doing in your life and all of our lives, but just, it's been so fun. And I'm so thankful that we met at Ala Vista. So I think my thing stopped recording on me, but I know, but I'll patch it together and then I'll message you, and so that way you can have it. So
yeah. And let me know if there's anything I could do to help, tidy it up.
Oh yeah, because that's your whole deal, huh? I feel I should maybe at least try, but I'll let you know.
Yeah. And also, if you need me to re-record anything, I'm happy to jump in and make it good.
Yeah. So. I appreciate that so much. I'm so glad that we were able to do this. So I always love talking to you, and so I was wanting to capture it because I feel you have so much in you that is so helpful for the body. So just be encouraged, and also don't forget to text me pics because I'm not on Instagram and I want to see all the fun and exciting engagement things. So
I will.
Yeah.
I just want to say this conversation has been so nourishing for me.
Oh, good.
I think getting to share it again, processing it, and hearing you reflected back, you've hit it on the head on every single point, and you're such an amazing listener.
Oh, thanks.
point is crazy, and the vessel point, like that's literally the verse that the Lord's been speaking to me about, like that the man or the person who cleanses themselves will be a vessel that the master can use.
Yeah.
That's like you could never have known, but
yeah.
Like, you're sweet in my heart, man.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thank you.
Awesome.
You.
Yeah.